Welcome to the Back 9 Six-Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 70 of the Back 9 Six-Pack. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. Many people were asking if the Back 9 Six-Pack ended on Friday.
First off, let me say this, I don't have enough tea in my body right now to really fight this fight, but I'm going to. I'll admit, I was a moron. I could have ended our game of stymies. Instead, I chose war.
Yeah, so by the way, we've not seen each other since this. I directly chose not to reply to any text from you or to reach out at all.
I did say sorry twice.
You did. I just knew it was better for me to keep my mouth shut in the moment. I had to let a few days of steam go by before we address this. So true Bill O'Reilly fashion here. We're doing it live.
Doing it live. I would say it was. You know what ended up screwing me way more because I was actually going to win money, and I ended up losing like $40. I was going to win like $10. Like it wasn't much.
Yeah.
I was going to finish at +1. I was going to get paid out from like 4 people. Instead, I ended at +7 or +6 and lost $40.
Sitting here now, like it's so stupid, and that's why I'm laughing. I can't even. I took it so serious. Okay, we got to reset here.
Yeah.
Friday we had the member guest. After the fact, after the dinner and everything, we're like, oh, let's play a little stymies. We love to play stymies. Always a good time.
Got like 7 people.
Rallied the troops. Got a game of stymies going. Well, this was like the marathon.
Unfortunately, got like a bunch of good putters too, which makes it fun, but also like not fun at the same time because it just continues to go forever.
Yeah. So this was like a marathon game. I think we went through the order twice at least.
Yeah, almost twice, yeah.
So we come down to what would be the final hole. Hinkle and I were +2 for like...
forever. You guys just kept making putts and stuff, yeah.
So we're just kind of duking it out, trying not to lose. So we get down, it's me and you with the last ball.
Yeah, the last 2 balls.
The game's already technically over because Hinkle had tapped in.
Yeah, for 3. He was +3.
I was also going to get to +3.
And I was about to tap in for +1.
Correct. And so, like you said, you chose violence. My ball was not in your way, but you were close enough that you could do what you did. So rather than tap your 18-incher in or whatever,
I was really hoping my ball would bounce off your ball and go in.
Yeah, that would have been an ultimate fuck you. That would have been great. So instead, you launch me into the rough. I just see red. I can't even. I think I blacked out. So
no, you definitely blacked out.
Instead of attempting to just get myself home as safely as possible, I took a personal vendetta against you and repeatedly tried to send you off the green as well. Truly a war of mutual guaranteed destruction.
Yeah, and then I think at one point you finally got my ball about 30 feet away.
And then you made it.
And then I sunk it. Sean's like, someone just make a putt. So it
was going to keep going. If you didn't make that putt,
I was 100% going to keep going.
It was bad.
I think you finished at +10. I finished at +6. We both lost a decent chunk of money.
Yeah. So neither of us look good from it. I still maintain.
I mean, here's my. I feel bad about it, but it's also what happens when you get somebody that has drank 18 Miller Lights in a day, has had a couple. I think someone fed me a shot of Fireball. I mean, what do you expect was going to happen? Like, I'm not thinking clearly. Like, I'm like, fuck this. Let's keep this game going. I honestly thought you were going to hit it out of the rough, up, and then just, like, try to get it in as quickly as possible.
No,
I thought that's what you were going to do.
I didn't have as many beverages as you had, but I had enough to, like I said, see red and just go full on.
Yeah, it was.
I don't even know.
You blacked out because there were no life behind your eyes.
No. It was just me, just anger. Was all that was behind my eyes.
In hindsight, I would have tapped it in. If that makes you feel any better.
Not really, but good to know.
I will never do that again, I'll tell you that.
Yes, lesson learned. That was a good thing. That's all we care about. Anyway. Well, I'm glad to be here tonight, and look, sorry.
I knew you were saving. I knew you were saving it for tonight. I didn't take it personal that you didn't respond to my sorries.
No, when like I said, that was more of just like I know I would say something stupid. Nothing productive would have come from me answering any of those texts.
And then I would have joked about it because that's how I get after 30,000 beers that I drank that day. So
right.
And it would have made you madder that I was joking about it.
Exactly.
So,
A full disclosure,
knew.
I'll admit this to you. So yesterday, the only text that I had sent that you were involved with was to our fantasy league because our draft is on Sunday. And I was just like, hey, if you can't make it, we do an in-person draft. Let me know so we can kind of plan for something. It's hosted at your house. To which you replied, I don't know if I can make it. I immediately texted Nick and I was like, is Justin like aware at all of like anything?
No, I did. I knew exactly.
I know.
I knew exactly what I was doing.
So yeah, it was like I said, it would not have been good if I replied to any of the previous messages. So, but
And I think someone said, I believe it was Matt said, I think that would be so cool if you missed your draft at your own house.
yeah, good lord. Anyway, all right. Well, that was the post member guest stymies. Hey, if you're here because you're you're appreciative we're still here because we could have stopped in episode 69 for all we know, but
I thought I was like, if it ends now, it's not a bad one to die on.
right. Well, we're here for episode 70, so thank you for listening. Please subscribe, rate, and review the show if you've not done that already. Send us a fan mail. There's a little link down in the description. You can text us and give us something to talk about, or if you have more questions about the debacle that happened on Friday,
Or how to avoid
that. Yeah, we can
probably starts with not drinking 18 Miller Lights. That's probably a good start.
Yeah.
And not hanging around for 2.5 hours after the tournament's over.
No.
Also another good place to start.
Another good place to start for sure. Well, speaking of the tournament, we talked about this a couple times heading up. You played with Dan. I played with Nick. Nice friendly grouping.
It was.
I guess high level, you and Dan just like could not you couldn't sustain anything well.
And we made 0 putts.
Yeah, couldn't make many putts, just couldn't string things together. Nick and I, it feels like a missed opportunity. We came in fourth, and it was definitely one of those where you could sit down and think back like, well, there's a shot there, there's a shot there.
But I was thinking, you guys could have definitely came in second, knowing how your round went.
I don't think we could have gone first. I'm with you.
I don't think you left 5, almost 6 shots out there. Because you lost by like 5.
5 and some decimals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You left like 3 out there. You definitely could have came in second.
Well, I would say we bogeyed 1 hole per format. Probably at least 2 of those were avoidable.
Yeah, what holes did you guys bogey?
2 red because I forgot how to hit a wedge.
Well, that one was definitely avoidable.
And then 3 white in the scramble.
That was tough. Yeah,
neither of us had a good tee. It's easy to do that on that hole. Like if you don't hit a good tee shot,
you guys were short-sighted in the bunker.
Yeah,
both of you weren't in the right bunker. Maybe one was in the left bunker. Maybe you get up and down, but that was going to be tough.
Yep. And then we had to take a bogey on 7 blue because I flew the green. I misclubbed, and then Nick had a 3-putt.
Yeah, he 3-putted off the front. That one was probably avoidable. So the 2 of them were avoidable. You didn't play your stroke holes on the best ball particularly well.
Yeah, I parred one of them, but the real key I think came down to 8 and 9 on blue for the best ball.
Yeah, and you didn't take advantage of either of those.
I hit driver okay, but I had 2 devastating drives on those 2 holes that were pop holes, and just those. If you're going to make a run at it, you've got to take advantage of at least one of those. I got to take the free shots that I'm given, and 2, maybe on the par 5, you throw in a birdie for a net eagle.
Yeah, or even
game changer.
Hell, even a par.
So
you know what I
I'm
mean?
saying. You just take if you make 2 pars there, that's 2 under. For, 2 pars. So yeah, just one of those. But we also chipped in for a birdie. We also the famous putt that dented the back of the cup on 9 on red.
The fact that we were making 0 putts up to that point, and I saw you hit one that was going off the green, and it hits the back of the hole and goes in. I think I looked over. I was like, "Fuck you!" I was like, "Fuck you! This is bullshit."
Yeah.
Mine would have never done that. It's becoming a theme that I'm not putting well right now, and I don't know why. But watching you guys drain putts, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It was not fun in the beginning. I can tell you that.
I putted really, really well.
Yes, you did. And Nick made a couple putts too.
Yeah. Nick made some really timely ones for us. I think on the whole, I was just I was rolling it pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of and a lot
His
of
only downfall of the putter was when he 3-putted 7 blue.
I think his putting issues were all speed. It was just like he's just not used to the speed that we had.
No.
Because like if you look back at, I mean, on 6 white when we were in the back fringe in 2, and he putted it off the front of the green, like not even close. Like this thing was like,
I do remember that.
Yeah. So like just things like that where he would do, or like on 7 blue, same thing. Like that's a downhill.
And that's tough when the guests come into our course because my partner plays at a course where greens haven't been fast at all this year.
Yep.
And that course, they call it no break bridges. Like literally like the most a putt's going to break is like maybe 2 inches, 3 inches. And he underread everything, most of the day. And it's like, it's easy to do when you're not used to playing courses where the greens actually break.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, and I think that's the same thing that Nick was battling too. And it's like really hard when you're there and you're the member and you know like what some of the breaks, what some of the speed is. To be
you're like, why did you only play that 3 inches outside the hole?
Right.
Like,
or even to like give advice and be like, oh, this is fast. Because then all of a sudden, next thing you know, they don't freaking hit it.
Yeah.
Or, on the flip
you don't
side.
want to scare. You want to scare them, but like gently scare them.
Right.
Like, there was a guy, like we had a putt, I think on 6 or 8 red where it was like, you got to barely get this on the green, but you can absolutely not leave it up here. Like we were putting off the fringe and it's like, or off the fairway behind the green. It's like, and then I scared them into just blasting it by. I'm like, well, I didn't want that, but I also didn't want to have 20 feet down the hill off the fringe still. So yeah, it's hard to word it to where you don't scare them, but then like that putt in particular, we got pretty lucky. It caught the fringe edge. It was going off the green, and it was a back pin.
Right.
So yeah, it's tough.
What was your guys' bet? Like, did you have one format that you scored best in?
I think alternate shot.
Yeah.
I think we were like even par on alternate shot with our adjustment. We were like 1.5 under.
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, let's just make pars in alternate shot if we get a birdie, whatever. And we did that in alternate shot. But the problem is we didn't make any birdies in the format that you had to make birdies in. Yeah. So
yeah, we our downfall honestly was best ball because we were only 2 under in best ball. But like we shot 32 with a bogey and scramble.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
30, I think we shot.
You shot 34 in best ball.
34 in best ball, and then I think we shot 33 in alt shot with the bogey.
You did. You were 2 under with a 1-shot adjustment. Yep.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know.
You did everything you should have done other than best ball, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's funny too because like when the same format for the McGonigal, Ryan and I like best ball was our best format. Like we shot 30 in best ball. And
I was gonna say you shot
struggled
30.
on the others. So
yeah.
I don't know. This one felt so much like it felt way different. I hit the ball a lot better, and we weren't scrambling like Ryan and I were.
Yeah, no. You guys were not. It was like watching you guys shoot 97. I'm like, how the fuck did we get to 94 something? Yeah.
Because the whole time you guys.
Because I was just like, yeah, you guys like Nick's like, are we in the running? I'm like, I think so. Like I wasn't like keeping score how many under you guys were, but I'm like, I mean, you're making enough putts. I mean, it feels like it anyway.
Yeah.
I maybe forgot about the bogeys, but like I'm like, I feel like you guys are making enough putts. Mm-hmm. Like
yeah, we missed out on coming in third by a half shot. I think
that sucks.
If we just if we found one shot somewhere, we would have come in second or 2 shots, maybe shot and a half, something like that. So yeah, it was one of the, I mean, honestly, Nick and I were talking after, and it was just like the number of times that him and I have played that course as partners, and it's gone horrible.
That was the one
felt
time.
Good.
Yeah,
it was like, dude, I'm just like proud of the way we played. Like it was good.
Yeah,
for the first time.
Oh yeah,
which. In large part due to the fact that he drove it really well.
He did drive it really well. He did.
BMW is back.
He only had like one bad drive, maybe.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And that's the thing in these things, when you're playing with a partner or whatever that's in play the entire time, like that is
I'll say this, that's the one thing Dan did well. Like Dan was always in play.
Dan was excellent.
Always in play.
He's got that high draw.
I mean, he's about 240 off the tee, so he's not as long as we are, but it was in the fairway, which I think I drove the ball pretty well because I knew I was like, well, we're the very worst we're going to have one in the fairway.
Right.
But we didn't do anything else very well.
No.
Not at all.
Now it feels like tournament season is like
It's
past us.
pretty much over at this point.
Yeah.
It is over.
For the club events, yeah. I mean, we have a fall scramble.
And
There's
the
some
Ryder
other
Cup, and
Ryder
that's
Cup. But those are more like, those are MGA's things, right? Or
The scramble is,
Ryder Cup's club, sort of.
I think the MGA is sponsoring it this year,
Okay.
whatever that means.
And then we'll have the Turkey Open in November, sooner than later.
Yeah, and the announcement's coming out for that very soon.
Stay tuned.
Very soon.
That's a tease.
We like to get that out as early as possible.
Yeah, hopefully we can nail down some details and have some exciting announcements around just the fact that it's happening.
Yeah.
That will improve the event, which would be cool.
Yeah, maybe a cool introduction video. That's one's on tap. I think that's what we talked about.
Okay.
It's nothing crazy.
No, but like I said, I'm looking forward to hopefully we can iron some things out with the course and everything and be able to just improve, like I said, make the event more enjoyable.
Yes.
More timely.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hint, hint. Okay. Look, the other thing I had a lot of people ask me about, your Ohio Mid-Am third round.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry to bring this up, but
Well, so the second round went okay. Other than I shot 76.
Yeah.
I made the cut. Hole 15 the second day, I lose a ball in the rough with a spotter that was on his phone. But then he had the balls to come over and start his stopwatch and was like, you got 3 minutes. I wouldn't even need 3 minutes if you're like actually watching the balls.
tough.
But yeah, the third day started out the best start I had all week. Started out even through 5. Missed 3 putted for the par 5 for a par. Wasn't crazy about that. But then get on 6. Hit my drive down the left side. All I'm trying to do is punch out. Punch out, and I'm like, I don't think it got through the rough. Which kind of sucks. But I'm out behind the trees or whatever. Get up there and can't find it. Nowhere to be found. Gone again. Ball just disappeared. And end up taking 7 and just, I don't know, just melted down. I mean, just literally melted down. Like, I didn't think my tournament was over at that point. Like, I thought, I was like, okay, if I can pull something together, maybe shoot even from here on out. Turns out I would have missed the top 10 by a stroke if that would have happened. But I was like, it was playing so hard. It was playing 200 yards longer the last day than it did all week. And it was still windy. And I'm like, look, there's going to be high scores. And it meant, like, the inner conversation was good. What I was actually feeling in my head and, like, actually thinking was not good.
Yeah.
And it just quickly went down a hill. Like, I think I bogeyed, like, 2 of the next 3, made the turn, parred 10, and then after 10, it was like bogey, 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 double, par, bogey, bogey, and then I took an 8 on 18.
Nice.
Then, just the salt on the wound, signed for a higher score. Because I was so pissed off, I just signed my scorecard real quick. And for those that don't know and says I should get DQ'd, you can sign for a higher one, you just can't sign for a lower one.
Right.
And the guy in the parking lot's like, you should go back on the scores tent. I'm like, bro, I'm not going back over there. The difference between an 87 and an 88 is, for an 87 and an 88, like, I'm not getting in the top 10, whatever. But it played tough. Like, that last day, I mean, 2 of the leaders shot in the 80s. Man. 2 of the guys in the final group shot in the 80s. A lot of 80s the last day. No one was under par for the tournament, which is crazy, kind of crazy. I was mentally worn out after those 3 days. That course will do it to you. I mean, yeah. So that's what happened. I mean, I was a little pissed at myself because I felt like I kind of gave up, which I don't like feeling that way. Like I said, the internal conversation was great until about 11. And it was about 11. I missed the makeable birdie putt on 10 just to kind of like maybe get it back on the rails, and then went on a bogey train. And I was like, after that, I checked out, and I was a little mad at myself for that because You're still putting a score up there. It would have been nice to maybe put like a 78 up there rather than a 88, but it is what it is.
It happens.
Happens to everybody.
Hard course. You're on day 3 of the tournament.
Worn out.
Yeah. Once it's God, it's gonna be so hard. I think about how quickly that happens to me, just like even in a league night.
Just snowballs, man. Just snowballs.
You get 2 bad breaks in a row, all of a sudden it's like boom.
Even if your internal conversation is like what you should be talking to yourself about, it doesn't matter.
No.
Like things just don't go your way sometimes. And that's what happens. I mean, you lose 2 balls in the rough. I think that's really what like kick started it, because I'm like, this is the second time in 8 holes I've lost a ball in the rough. And that was just like how I literally, like, I talked to everybody else that I knew played in the tournament. I'm like, did you lose any balls in the rough? They're like, no. Well, I lost 2. So I don't, like, it's just bad luck like that can sometimes flip a switch, and it's like, you can't recover from. So, yeah, I had a lot of questions about that too. 88. It's like, well, actually, it's an 87. I signed for the wrong score just to make it that much worse. Like, I have been playing golf forever, and I signed for incorrect scorecard, which I wasn't going to check anyway. So
right. Well, at least it was higher, though. That would have sucked.
At least I didn't get DQ'd. Oh, that would have sucked. To play 3 days like that and get DQ'd, that would have really, really sucked.
Yeah. Well, one thing on the mid-am here too is I'm not bringing this up to shame this person, but I wanted to give Jared a shout out. Shot the 100 the first day. Hate to see that, but our guy showed up and played the second round.
Did not withdraw.
Plenty of people that go out there and they'll shoot in the high 70s and withdraw.
Yeah, lame. Like absolutely lame. By the way,
completely lame.
Quitting is lame.
For sure.
Unless you're injured, like physically injured or whatever. That's one thing. Like, I've had that happen before, and I've withdrawn. But to just be like, oh, I'm not going to make the cut, or oh, I played terrible, I don't want to go back out there, that's lame.
For sure.
And he did not do that. So shout out to him.
No, respect to anybody that finishes.
And kind of pulled it together on the last 9. Like, I think he shot like 39 or 38 on the last 9 or something like that. So. Yeah.
And sometimes it's worth it just to play that round out, and then you do that, and then you've got a ton of confidence going.
Yeah, especially on that course. Like, shooting that score is...
Yeah.
And coming back from what he shot the first day, that's commendable.
Yeah, a little bit of prove it to yourself, right?
That's
always good. You also, I totally forgot you had this on the docket, but you and Wes played the 4-ball today.
Yeah, 0 highlights.
0 highlights, no putts made.
We should have known on the first hole. We both hit it to like... Wes hits it to like 4 or 5 feet. I hit it to like 10. I almost 360 lipped out. Then he lips out. And it was like, it's fine, whatever. That was a theme. We had a lot of lip outs today. And on a course that, especially in that format, like there's a lot of birdies out there. And if you're not making birdies, you are quickly falling behind the field. And that's what it did. And then we just killed all the momentum we had,
Yeah.
We started out like 100 for 2 and then bogeyed 3, which kind of killed. You can't really make bogeys when you need to shoot 11 under.
Right.
And then he did hit it. His best shot of the day was on 4. He hit a 3-wood from about 260 to about 5 feet.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then missed. He lipped out. So it was a day of lip outs, but we had fun. It was so hot.
Oh yeah, today was unbearably hot.
I drank 20 bottles of water. We had to walk. We had a caddy in the cart driving our clubs around, but we had to walk. I drank 20 bottles of water. Never peed. Not one time. Not a single time. Never had to pee.
You've already within the I don't know how long we've been recording. But you've already...
that was gone in 3 minutes, and I feel like my body just like soaked it up already. It's like, oh, well, you need like 40 more of these.
Yeah. You're like SpongeBob in Sandy's dome or whatever.
Literally, yeah. That's exactly how it feels right now. I'm like, any liquid I put in my body, it just feels like it's going to the deficit and not towards like actually getting rehydrated. So,
yeah, that's a tough place to be. I've been there too many times.
Yeah, and I even tried to hydrate last night. I'm like, it's going to be hot. We got to walk. Felt like I drank a lot of water. Still wasn't enough.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Once you're behind, you just can't get it back.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I dumped in the pool when I got home. I'm like, dude, I smell. I'm like, I just got to get in the pool.
You needed that chlorine.
God, I needed in my house, we call it, my dad goes by peepaw. We call it the peepaw bath. That's what he does a lot. It's like, shower? No. Dump in the bath or dump in the pool? That's his shower for the night.
Peepaw bath. I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, kind of similar topics here. We're on to fan mail real quick. So we got a couple in. If you remember last week, we talked a lot about how poorly I was driving it, especially at Beckett Ridge, just getting OB punished on repeat. Hinkle reached out to us. I had no idea our guy is a big Vision 54 fan, apparently.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
So his comment, you got to have a think box and a play box. Think about what you want to do behind the ball once you step into play, or once you step in, play box, thinking is over. Which is for anyone who doesn't know, there's a book called Be a Player. It's by Pia Nilsson and Lynn Marriott. I think they're both former professional players.
Yes,
they
are.
Down in Arizona now.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a ton of players on tour, but all tours at all levels, even amateurs too. And they're like Hinkle says, their big thing is they've got a process of, you've got a think box. So any swing thoughts, any pre-shot routine, all that stuff happens there. And then once you step up to the rest of the ball, you're in
just swinging.
Yes, mental part's over, physical reactive mode.
I do. I don't do it specifically, but I try not to think once I'm walking up to the ball. Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually own this book. If anybody out there who's nearby wants to borrow it or something, I can let you read it. Probably 2 years ago, I kind of got into it, and then as things happen, you just kind of get out of practice. It's truly one of those things. If you don't practice it, you're gonna lapse on it. And it's been helpful at times for me. But I sometimes when you're so deep in it and you're just trying to find a swing feel or whatever, it's easy to think instead of feel. And so that's where I've been a little bit the past few weeks. Good reminder though from Hinkle. I might have to pick up the book again, because the good thing about Be a Player is they've got a ton of it's really practical. Literally, it's almost like a workbook. So you read a little bit about stuff or whatever, but then they've got actual recommendations.
Putting it in use.
Yes, they have you do here's a drill you can do. Here's a way to practice. Here, it gives you practical things to actually implement.
Yep,
which is good. So I might, shout out to Hinkle. I might actually dive back into that and just try to.
Yeah, I've seen videos on it and stuff. I think I do think it's a good way to approach. I guess. Let me say this to people that are trying to take that next step in their golf game. So, if you're trying to go from a 12 to a 9, a 9 under 5, a 5 down to under 2, a 2 under scratch. I think if you're in those steps, I think it's a pretty good process.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, me sitting here today, still stuck at a 7 without practicing and things like that. I feel like any improvement that I could make outside of literally practicing and playing every day.
Well, and the reason I say that, I think of a 12 golfer has the skills to be a 9, and a 9 has the skills to be under a 5 at a certain point, because you are playing a little more and you are maybe thrown into practice there. It might just help you to trust what you've gained, and then go play it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a huge part of what could help me get below that is definitely just on the mental side.
Yeah, almost like a reset. So if you've gone from a 9 to a 7, it's all right, I need a reset. Go through that, and then do it, and then I think you'll start to see improvements again.
Even part of it too is not just the thinking part about swing thoughts or whatever, but committing to shots and having that's part of the think box, play box. When you're in the think box, you don't leave that think box until you are 100% into what you've decided to do. And there are plenty of times where I have doubts still about the club in my hand or this whatever I'm going to do. And we all know as golfers, those things never work out.
And I honestly think you may think it was oh, this is going to slow play down. I think it actually speed it up. People think way too much. Dude, I saw it today. Some of these college kids deathly slow, 6 hours a day to play around. Absolutely hideous. But I think you get to a certain point and you think that thinking more is going to help you, where it's like you get behind the ball, decide what you're going to do, and get up there and hit the ball. Right, rather than standing over the ball and it's like, all right, I need to take this, feel like it's coming inside. Like just thinking behind the ball and then getting up and hitting it. I mean, I pretty much do that now. I mean, for the most part. And we played with actually 2 high school kids today, which is kind of funny. But the one dad was like, he's like, I've not seen you take a practice swing. Like, I don't need to take a practice swing to visualize what I want to do. I just don't. And maybe I'm odd man out in doing that. Like, I don't need to take a practice swing to. I'm not trying to work the ball, like unless I'm trying to hook it around a tree or something.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to work the ball. I'm just doing my natural swing, which is a cut, and I'm picking out a target behind the ball, picking out a target, going up and hitting it. Like, why do I need a practice swing to do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, realistic. He was like, I don't think I've seen you take one practice swing, and we were on like 16. I'm like, probably because I haven't.
Yeah.
I really haven't.
I mean, I do occasionally take them, and I would say it's for 2 reasons. One, usually on wedge shots, like if I've got like in between wedges, I like kind of like base my backswing is kind of how I control my distance. So like I try to get a feel for that. Or you'll know when I'm working on something because that's when I'm taking practice swings. Because I'm trying to feel a certain thing.
If I've got off to a rough start and I'm like searching for something, like I might even not take a practice swing, but
it's more of a
mine's
rehearsal.
all takeaway stuff that I'm like always worried about. If you may just see me like take it back a little bit, but I don't know if I still don't take a full practice swing because it's all about takeaway. For me, it's all about takeaway and where I'm at impact. Has nothing to do with me taking this big loopy follow through and all that. So,
and I would say too, if any sport really, but you'll hear it a lot in golf is like, players will talk about like when they're in flow or whatever, like, or when they're playing their best, it's, you'll ask them what they did or whatever, and they won't even know.
They have no idea.
Hey, it was just that day. Like I was just hitting it and it was going where I wanted to. So like, there's obviously I think every person that plays golf, especially, intuitively knows it's like bad to overthink.
Oh yeah.
But it's so hard to break yourself of it when things aren't going well because you think that you can just like, it's similar to what you're saying with that self-talk, right? Like the self-talk is right, but your body or your whatever part of it that's not working just isn't clicking with it.
Yeah, so I would tell you anybody over a 10 handicap is probably way overthinking things.
Oh yeah. And
way overthinking
most golfers, and I'd say even like higher than a 10 or so, like everybody's had that round where they're like, they can't explain it, but they went out and they shot their best round ever and everything was just super easy that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's generally comes from like low expectations or not thinking.
Yep.
Often happens to me a lot the first couple rounds of the year because I'll be like, oh, I haven't touched a club in 3 months.
Yeah, you have no expectations.
Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, 74. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, no expectations. I mean, the typical amateur golfer shouldn't be thinking about more than, where they're aiming. You should think about the wind and other than that, and hit a club that's going to go 10 yards further than you think you need to hit it. Because most amateurs under club, they don't think about the wind and they overthink.
Yeah.
And like a lot of them are like, anybody that's not a professional golfer should not be trying to work the ball from a shot-to-shot basis.
No.
If you hit a draw, hit a draw. If you hit a cut, you hit a cut. Unless you're behind a tree or something, you have to work it. But that comes into overthinking. Like, I know a lot of guys that are like +2s to 2s that they're like, I really need to hit a draw here. I'm like, but why? Like, you hit a cut. Why are you... Well, the wind's off the left. Well, why don't you just aim further left? It's going to go a little further because you're cutting the ball with the wind. Just take less club. Like, why are you trying to draw it back into, hold it up against the wind? You're not that good.
Right.
And anybody that's not a professional golfer. But that's where it comes into, the overthinking thing. It's like, no. Chances are you're not going to hit it good, and you're going to end up costing yourself a shot or two anyway. Yeah. So,
I need to listen to my own advice here because what I'm about to say is like it gets back to that. We've had this conversation a lot about like process versus results, and like it's so easy to default to reacting to what happens, right, to the result.
Yep.
Whereas all that matters is like the think box, play box thing. Commit to your shot.
Yep.
Go hit that shot
and swing the club.
Yeah, and then whatever happens after that, you did the part, right that you can control.
Yeah, there's a lot of times you do the right thing and it's not going to come out the way you think it should.
We're amateurs. We don't have very repeatable swings. There's all kinds of other factors like you just talked about that go into the result of a shot. We don't practice all this stuff.
Yeah.
So like,
it's an easy way to cut down strokes.
As long as you could just focus on the thing you control, which is club selection and I guess like your target or whatever, right?
Yeah. That's it.
And just commit to that. Whatever happens, happens. And then at the end of the day, it's less frustrating. You're not worried about.
I've had this in my head probably for 3 years now, watching Shane Lowry and him as caddy play like a 9-hole like YouTube thing. And someone asked Shane's caddy, it's like, what's the one thing you guys think about? And he goes, conservative targets and aggressive swings.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, that guy's won how many times on tour? And he's getting ready to hit a shot, and he's thinking, conservative target, aggressive swing. That's all. That's really, he's probably got maybe another thing he's thinking about, but that's about it.
Right.
Like, that's all he's thinking about. So.
Yeah.
It's all commitment. And that's where that comes in at, like getting over the ball and just committing to what you've decided to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was, again, shout out to Hinkle for the comment. I need to get back into be a player and just committing to shots and doing the think box, play box thing.
Oh yeah,
that helped me a lot. The other fan mail we got was from Tommy Turndogs, Tom Plank.
Love it.
This is about we asked for people's golf pet peeves. We're gonna try to piece together a bracket.
It's a good one.
Yeah, he sent one in, and I think what I've realized after talking through this and texting with you guys about it is like we're gonna have to start bucketing these like fashion ones because people have a lot of pet peeves with fashion stuff.
Yeah,
which is tough because it's a subjective thing. Like people, I don't know, but his comment was about players that don't wear a belt, which I think there's like a whole belt segment we need. Like there's like a one seed is going to be belt related.
Yeah,
it's 100%. Like no belt, the mismatched belt, the just whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna
have to bucket that
black belt with white shoes. Like,
yeah.
Shout out to my college coach. He sent me home from the golf course one day. I did not know that was a rule or like a fashion thing. I walked up. I had a black belt on with white shoes. Go home. He's like, go home and change your belt or change your shoes. One of the two.
Oh my gosh.
And I went home and changed I didn't have another pair of shoes, so I went home and changed my belt.
Yeah.
That's how I learned. But the no belt thing, I've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Wild.
It's because all these like athleisure companies now all make golf shorts and then, they either don't have loops or they're just like designed that they have a drawstring.
Frankly, it looks like
else.
shit.
Yeah. We've talked about this. We don't need to rehash, but yeah.
It looks like shit.
It doesn't look great. Especially, in theory, you should be tucking in. If you wear something tucked in without a belt, that is
it looks even worse.
Just overall tough.
Yeah, it's a tough look.
So yeah, at least if it's untucked, it's not as visible. But still, we talked about it last week. Untucked's disgraceful too. Yep. So yeah, good call out by Tom. We'll have to get that one on the list somehow. And I think with that, we're making a speedy entry into Patio Beers.
Yeah, we are. God, this is flying by.
This is great. It's good for
like I said, I'm low T tonight.
And we got the draft this weekend, so we'll have a programming note. We'll probably record Sunday morning.
Yeah. I think that's what we did last year.
Get it in before the draft and then have our Labor Days off. So
that sounds awesome. Yeah, and we got. Well, did you get the email about the Labor Day scramble?
I'm not playing this year. I'm sitting this one out.
That's where I'm like, okay, we definitely need to record on Sunday.
Yeah, are you playing?
I'm playing.
Yeah. Yeah, tough to miss one, but I need a long weekend. I need
some kind of like human charger. I need to just plug it into the wall.
Yeah, I feel the same.
That's what I'm going to try to do over the next couple of days is just like recharge the batteries.
Well, it's like you got the kids back in school, so there's all that logistics going on.
Frankly, I know like I will feel 1,000 times better when I get my hair cut and my beard trim. Like, I'm looking like a freaking rat right now. I'm not going to lie.
I wasn't going to say anything. But...
My beard's all over the place. My hair's all over the place. I need a reset. I need a hot towel. I need to get the face trimmed up. That's going to do me wonders on Wednesday, by the way. So,
all right. That's good. It is. Hey, look, it's like there's a lot of things, simple things in life like that, right? Get yourself trimmed up.
I'm a big haircut person. I really am. Christy cuts my hair. She's been cutting my hair for about a year and a half now. It's a legit barbershop. You go in. If I don't ever do this if I'm before 12 o'clock, but like if I'm after 12 o'clock, like you want a bourbon? Yeah, I'll take a bourbon. You're sitting there, you get your face trimmed up, get your hair trimmed up. Like I go zero on the sides. Like I just feel like a new man.
Yeah.
I love a good haircut. God, that's why I get my haircut like 3 times a month.
Yeah, I wish I'm on like every 3 weeks, but like I would do it every other week if I
Dude,
really
I do. I have to. Like it feels good. It is like a reset.
It is
for me.
Yeah. Man,
I love my barbershop though.
I kind of want to impromptu change my question now, just based on this conversation.
Yeah,
I am going to do that because it got me thinking of something else, which would be my answer to this question. Something like that's simple in life, that just like it brings you joy or like feels good. You know what I mean? Just like something that's like a regular ass occurrence, like getting your hair cut, that brings you like an oversized amount of joy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I seriously am. Like a haircut is
pretty high on the list.
Oh, it might be number one. I'll think of another one, but like haircut, like especially if you go to a barbershop, you get a hot towel. Like they have cold towels right now for the summer. Go in, get a cold towel in the face, like, and just sitting there and relaxing. And, she's a talker. I just kind of let her go do her thing. She vents to me all the time. So I just let her do her thing. I just sit there and listen.
It's kind of the opposite of what most hairdressers are, right? Usually, like, you go in and...
Like, you're the venting. Yeah. I don't know. I just let her go.
That's fun.
She pours me, like I said, I get a bourbon if I get to go in the afternoon. Like, they've got a great bourbon selection in there. It is like a reset. I wish I'd have scheduled it for tomorrow, but I'm going in on Wednesday.
Okay.
But
Something
haircut is up there.
Yeah, what I was thinking in my head is clean sheets. When you lay down in bed at night in clean sheets, it's got like that cool feel to it. Just feels nice and clean.
I was going to say a night shower in the summer, which is kind of the same thing. Like, just especially on a day like today, you're sweating, going to bed clean.
Yeah, no peepaw bath. We're getting a nice full shower. Yeah.
Like I think like a shower in the summer, like before you go to bed, is pretty refreshing too. Like it.
Yeah.
Like I get mine a little cool too. Like I don't do a hot shower. Like it's borderline like room temperature.
Yeah. I think another thing for me, there's early mornings, like especially if you get it like a crisp like fall morning and you're up before everybody else. Things are quiet. There's dew on the ground, birds chirping. You make that first pot of coffee. I was reminded of that because actually this past, at the Member-Guest, like it was a little bit cooler, or not that, the week before, sorry. It was a little bit cooler, like heading to the golf course.
It was nice.
I was like, man.
It was nice. Last week was
got a little
in the
taste
morning
of that fall.
Last week in the morning, it was 50s.
Yeah.
Did a hoodie on. I loved it. That is pretty refreshing too.
It's kind of like that half light too. Like the sun's still coming up. It's not, kind of reminds me of vacation.
Yeah.
Like when you're out on the beach and you're up early, and it's like the light's just different. I don't, man.
Yeah, I always wake up like way earlier on vacation too. It's like, I'm going to sleep in up at 6:15.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, never mind. But no, I think haircut's probably number one on the list. Like an everyday reoccurring, or
a normal regular life thing.
Yeah, the haircut is 100% up there.
Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, I think clean sheets for me is
clean sheets are always good. Yeah, it like smells good.
Yeah, there's something about the way it feels. You just lay down. It's like it's like they're cooler. I don't know.
They definitely, like when you lay down, you're like, okay, they feel cooler. I don't know. I don't know what it is about sheets. If you have them on there for a little bit, they feel like they're getting rougher, or maybe your body's getting used to the feeling of it.
Maybe.
I don't know. But clean sheets are not bad, especially in the summer.
Yeah, dude, those clean linens in the summer. Ooh.
Mm.
That's why they make sense out of like detergent out of that stuff, you know? Try to bottle it up.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
All right. Well, college football. Well, I guess it kind of started this weekend.
Oh, baby.
Which,
we're
you know,
back.
Florida State completely ruined the question I had written down. My original question was going to be every year, two teams that are preseason top 10, typically they don't end up in top 10.
Yeah.
Well, they're 0-1, so that's not like a fair choice. So I had to change it up a little bit. And this is all because, so I've well noted on this show, I've started playing college football on Xbox. I'm the head coach of Minnesota.
Yep.
But I know they've done it in the past, but this game feels like they've done a really, really good job at kind of capturing, the things that each school does, right? Dotting the I and, Michigan does the block M and all that, like with the band and,
Clemson's got the
rock and they're running down the hill. Like they do a really good job at capturing that. What is your favorite college football tradition? Doesn't even have to be a team you like. You just like, okay, that's the coolest one.
Yeah, dude, I think it's just the game. Like Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah, I mean
it's Thanksgiving every year.
Yeah, it's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
It's always at noon.
You're probably on the third day of a bender.
Yeah. It's just like that.
And it's not stopping on Saturday.
It doesn't matter if they're both shit. Usually they're both, at least
in the last 20
decent.
years, they've been both decent.
More recently, it's been like a spot for the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it usually means something, even if it doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. To me, that is college football. That or the Rose Bowl. Those are like
Rose Bowl's pretty good.
There's just something about that late, like afternoon California light in Pasadena, the parade.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like but now
that's that. You get into like the third quarter and the sun's going down.
Oh,
That's
God, dude.
dude.
The Rose
And they highlight it too. Like they're like, oh, the sun's coming down on Pasadena. It's like, God dang, this is. And then the lights kick on. You're like, oh shit. Like we're about to have a fourth quarter right now.
Yeah.
Like it's good. Yeah,
I think it still remains the best of the bowl games. The only thing is like with all this conference shit and whatever, like it's.
So that's why I think we really have to start leaning on individual school traditions rather than like conference. Because like now it's like Oregon and Ohio State are going to play not every year, but almost every year, right?
Right.
That's weird. That's a little weird.
Yeah.
That used to be an out of conference game.
And to me, anything that makes it cool is like it makes me think of a Rose Bowl, like Pac-10, Big Ten, or whatever, And now that's gone, so it's like I don't know.
I would say, and this is not a team I like, but I think one of the coolest, probably relatively new, I think probably within the last 25 years, Iowa's Children's Hospital wave after the first quarter.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Always touching.
Yeah, everybody in the stands looks up. The Children's Hospital, if you don't know, overlooks the stadium, and there's kids watching the game in the windows, and everybody in the stadium waves to them. I think that's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Like the ones that I've seen in person, dude, Michigan State's Go Green, Go White chant is legit. Mm-hmm. It's pretty legit. Like I'm trying to name ones that are like not my favorite team. Dotting an I is probably one of the coolest traditions.
Yeah.
I've never seen Michigan's Block O or Block M.
Dude, it's
pretty cool. I've obviously seen it on TV. It's just one of those things I feel like you have to like see in person to realize how cool it is.
It's similar to dotting of the I.
And like look, I want this on the record. I fucking hate Michigan, but like that tradition is cool.
Dude, having gone to many, many Michigan day or games, there's like literally nothing like the Big House on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
It is so many freaking people. I think there's just
certain stadiums that like
that's really what it comes down to for me. Like, I think the great thing about college is like you have these like big traditional
gigantic
stadiums.
Gigantic.
The Big House, Notre Dame's field. freaking UC Nippert's like one of the third oldest or whatever in the country.
Yep.
Really cool. I mean, there's just like there's so much more individualized, like you just said, tradition around these programs.
Like, everybody's told me, and I know I don't know them personally. My wife knows these guys that for like 15 years they pick a game, like usually a rivalry game, and they just go. Yeah. Like they're not fans of the game, like they're not fans of the teams. They've been everywhere. They've been Army, Navy. They've been Auburn, Alabama. They've been Michigan, Ohio State. Like they've been to all of them, and still they're like, dude, you have to get to the South to watch a college football game. They're like, they just do it differently.
Yeah.
And he's like, and it's not that he's like, look, Michigan, Ohio State was awesome, and it is the game, like it's the best game, but like the fans do it differently in the South.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's like, you go to an Auburn game, like you go to an Ole Miss game, like you go to an Alabama game, like they just do it differently, and it is truly like life or death every game.
Yeah. Oh, God, you mentioned Army Navy. That's another sick one too.
Yeah, Army Navy is a great tradition. Like it's, dude. Like I just found this out, like just playing the game or whatever. UCLA has like a 5 clap.
Huh. Didn't know that.
It sounds cool. It sounds really cool, actually.
I mean, Wisconsin has a jump thing.
The jump is awesome. That's a cool tradition.
God, there's a lot.
Like I feel
there are a lot.
Yeah. Well, Alabama's got Dixieland Delight. I think they play it, I want to say after the third quarter, I believe. And, they add words in there. They like roll Tide and then fuck Auburn. Like, it's like, and Tennessee too. That's what they say. Those are the words. Rocky Top's great.
One. Yeah. I mean, even the annoying ones like the Gator. Gator, that thing, or Florida State has
but like
chop.
Dude, there's something about like turning on CBS. You got a 3:30 game, and you hear like, you're like, oh shit, it's time. Like the 3:30 SEC now, it's not that anymore. They've got Big Ten games now, but just like something about hearing that on TV, you're like, shit, I think I'm going to sit down for another 3 hours.
Dude, that is something too. Florida State, when you get like a night game and it's the chop,
dude,
this is so sick. LSU at night is like electric.
So everybody I've talked to, and I left that out purposely when I was talking about the South. Everybody's like, you got to go to Death Valley. There's no way to explain it. It could be McNeese State going in there, and it's going to be rocking.
Right.
Like, I was like, damn, LSU's
pretty
got that
nasty
like nasty, dirty, like
just a grunge, man.
Grunge. Southern vibe. But they're like probably like the nicest people in the world.
Oh yeah, but that would be so much fun to do that.
Yeah.
I will say a couple other ones. Or one note that's sad. Like, so I'm a Cincinnati grad. Like all of our cool stuff is like just slowly dying. Like we used to have these rivalries with Pitt, West Virginia, Louisville.
Yeah.
Miami's even like trying to back out of it now. Like, and those were for like, Keg and Nails, the, Liberty Bell. Like there's like actual like trophies and like they had names and stuff. And with all this realignment, they've just kind of like shifted and gone away over time.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like the crazy trophies in college football. Always, I'm starting
Most of them
to
in
really.
The Big Ten.
I'm starting to really find out how many. Dude, Minnesota's got like 3 rivalry games.
I know.
They've got one with Michigan,
yeah.
The old wooden, the old oaken bucket or whatever, and then they've got the axe with Wisconsin. Like
Paul Bunyan.
I'm like, dude, how many trophy rivalries can one school actually have?
I know,
but they're all kind of cool.
Yeah,
like
it's all cool.
They are. But UCs are all kind of dying. I mean,
so the one that lives on, you've not been to a college football game until you watch Gunth during the catwalk at a UC tailgate.
I've seen videos. I've never seen it in person. I plan to change that this year.
Yeah, truly something that many, many of you need to experience if you've not yet.
Before he has kids, too.
Yeah, well, I think he's just going to be there with like the baby strapped to him.
He probably will. I don't know why. I thought that was going to stop him.
No, it won't.
Yeah. And by the way, we need to have more night games in college football. Can I just say that? Like, I do enjoy the 12 o'clock kickoff. The 3:30 kind of breaks up the day a little bit. But, dude, there's nothing when you turn, like, all right, it's 7:30 on a Saturday. Like, I'm about to sit down and watch 2 ranked teams duke it out.
Yeah. I'm
Especially
with you.
when you get in the fall, too. A night game in the fall.
Yeah, you get like a Bama LSU, and then also this is what sucks about the Pac-12 going away is like, you'd have that, and then
The
all of a
late
sudden,
night.
then it'd be like, oh shit, it's like Oregon UCLA's playing.
I didn't get enough betting in today. There's a 10:30 Arizona State versus Oregon game on.
Yeah, that's what I live for. Is like, man, it's college football.
Cal
Saturdays.
Washington's on at 11 p.m.
Exactly.
If you really want to watch college football until 3 a.m., you can.
Yeah, then you got Hawaii. Whoa, 1:30 a.m. kickoff. Here we go.
The Flying Hawaiians.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a good question. I mean, obviously there's tons of tradition in college football, but
No, but I do like the Iowa one. It's kind of
that's a very cool.
one-off, kind of cool. I've heard that's a really cool place to see a game. I'd love to get out there. When my kids go to, that's like the one thing I want to do is like I just want to go to college towns. Like I'm a big college town person.
Yeah, I think I used to. A lot of people would be like, "Oh, I'm going to go to all 30 MLB stadiums or whatever." Like I think this is cooler.
Way cooler.
Yeah.
Way cooler. It's going to be in the fall. I mean, I've been to Camp Randall. I've never been inside of it for a football game. I went up there in February one time with a college teammate of mine, and we threw snowballs outside. It was, dude, it was they got like 20 inches of snow that night. And he was, we're heading back from a party. I threw snowballs at Camp Randall, and then we started throwing snowballs at cars right outside Camp Randall. Definitely a core memory of mine, for sure. Like just pegging cars outside Camp Randall, which it looks like a dirt ball stadium, but it's cool.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of them like that. Like I've been to Notre Dame, Michigan, countless others, but like I'm with you. Like I think top of my list would definitely be going to Baton Rouge. Like I got to get an LSU night game.
Yeah.
But this is a weird one kind of, but like I think a Nebraska game would be sick.
Dude, they just die hard.
That's what I mean. I want to just
They
go
haven't been good in
like
15, 20 years. They're just die hard.
I want to go be like an adopted fan for a day at like these places.
And you know
I mean?
what? If you did, like you went, like you're like, hey, I'm just traveling. Dude, they would. I feel like every college, every fan base would be like, yeah, dude, come on in.
Yeah,
like
this is what we do.
Let's show you. Like, let's show you a good time.
God,
and that's the best part. That is truly the best part.
Yeah.
Other than some rivalries, like Michigan Ohio State gets a little.
Yeah, that's the one.
It depends on who you run into, but like for the most part, if you're like, hey, I'm just here to enjoy this game because, and I'm not even a fan of these teams. I don't think there's any fan base that'd be like, get the fuck out.
No,
they'd be like, you just came to this because you think it's cool, dude. Come on in, like, yeah. That's the cool thing about college football.
That's a good call. Yeah, I love it. All right, well, football this weekend.
Yeah, I cannot wait.
Week 1, we're past week 0 now. So week 1, we have our draft on Sunday. You've been hyping up this strategy you got.
Yeah, I'm got it in the back pocket, not giving it away. You'll probably know like 6 rounds in. You'll get it.
I'll identify it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Well, we'll see if it's a winning one, I guess, in 16 weeks or whatever. God, we're
probably
so close.
not. I know. Yeah, football. Yeah, it was like there's not going to be a Saturday from like last Saturday to like the January 20th without football.
Oh yeah, that's like I think we have football every weekend until like mid-February from here on out.
God, I missed it.
NFL's back after a week from this Thursday. There will be an NFL game that matters.
Yeah,
Ravens Chiefs too.
Yeah, my Packers play on next Friday.
Man, we're doing a Thursday Friday situation?
Yeah, they play in Brazil.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Brazil game.
Friday, which is just kind of dangerous.
Do they play like the Raiders or something stupid?
No, they play. God, who do they play?
Oh, dang, I shouldn't have asked.
I know. Well, it's going to bother me. No, it'll be popped up pretty quickly.
I don't know if would they make it an NFC game? Rams, something like that.
It might be the Rams, actually.
I'm just chucking darts right now. I don't know.
But it is a Friday game, which is it's the Eagles.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game.
So we get Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles.
Yeah, it's like 8:00 on Friday. I'm like, God dang, I don't know how many beers I might be in by that point, but it might be a lot. So
yeah, Friday night.
I don't know if
NFL
my
game.
body can handle
That's not
a
good
Friday night game going into a Saturday college football
No,
week.
and then a full Sunday slate, like the first Sunday slate of NFL.
Yikes.
That'll be a fun Monday in here.
Yeah, and we'll be at the Bengals opener this year. So,
Oh my god! So you're gonna have Packers Friday, college football Saturday at no, they're not playing at home week 1, are they? Are they?
yeah, the Patriots,
You're done.
which should be
That'll be the end of the podcast, not stymies.
look. I'd say this all the time. Like when the Bengals need a win, they got to bring in the big guns. I am the big guns. I'm going to say this confidently. I have not seen a loss in like the last 4 years.
Knock on wood. Good.
And anytime I go, something crazy happens, like the Hubbard run. Like I've seen some,
The Packers games are always weird, so I know you've been to a few of those.
So that was the only loss I saw. Was the Packers beat them in the year they went to the Super Bowl. That was the only Bengals loss I was at.
Yeah, but those games have been weird. We had the Brett Favre, the guy comes out and takes the ball.
Well, and then the
Rodgers had
the one 2 times ago, at the Bengals, the Packers had the ball driving. Guy fumbles like a 3rd and 1 run, and the Bengals ran it back.
Right.
I'm like, every game is weird. They need to be on the schedule permanently, I think.
Would be fun.
It seriously is every
it might
game,
be
though.
the whole AFC and NFC North crossover, because we always play weird games with the Vikings.
Yeah,
too.
the Vikings. Yeah, I
always
never
some
with the
weird
Bears,
stuff.
but the Vikings are always weird games. The Packers are always weird games. Like that Vikings game last year was. I was at it.
I was at that
wild.
one too. I forgot we were both there.
It was the pick 6, and it gets called back for a flag. It was there's just crazy crap that happens.
Yeah.
So, God, I could talk football forever.
All right, well, we'll talk a lot more football coming up because this is going to become a football program.
I think it did last year too.
Oh yeah. Okay, Tour Championships this weekend, so shout out to those guys. They're going to make a ton of money.
We're
this weekend.
We're the starting point of any tournament in the entire world.
Yeah, we'll see. Who you got?
And dude, it's going to really be hard to catch Scotty Scheffler getting -10 out of the gate.
I think Xander's going to win.
I was going to say one of them too. I could see
he's an East Lake killer, dude.
He does play well there. I mean, yeah, it's going to be one of those two, is my guess.
I think so too. I don't think there's not enough of the highest end guys up there to that'll chase him.
No,
down.
when you got no, this is no offense to our Ryder Cup captain, but when you got Keegan Bradley in 4th. Love Keegan, but is he gonna does he have enough firepower to catch Scotty Scheffler or Xander? Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
All right. Well, enjoy the Tour Championship. Enjoy your football weekend. Enjoy some golf if you're playing it. Happy Labor Day.
Yep.
And until next time.
See ya.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six-Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six-Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.